no one told me it was a musical. I need preparation. I need to mentally prepare myself that this is going to be a musical. I need to get into this because I don't like being surprised with a musical. Literally nothing worse than being surprised with a musical. And so I think I've watched the first 54 seconds of Sweeney Todd. Then I turned it off and I immediately got it out of my DVD player. I was like, nope, not watching this thing. And so I'm glad that she posted that the Joker is a musical. I, in turn, may not go see it now.
Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. My name is Adam Glyn with hair that looks like a bird's nest. Over there is Dax Holt, the original Menendez brother. How are you, sir?
You weirdo. I'm good.
Dax is the Menendez brother that nobody talks about. So it's
the third Menendez brother.
Yeah, it's sad that we're talking about the Menendez brothers, but I'm still watching this show. It's the acting in that show is really good. It's a show on Netflix right now. It's by Ryan Murphy. Is that the name? Ryan Murphy, right? From did Glee, did American Horror Story, did the OJ thing, and now doing the Menendez brothers. It's just shot really well. It's maybe the acting is phenomenal. The guys who play the Menendez brothers are great. You haven't gotten into it yet, but you know the story.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I know the story for sure. I mean, obviously, that was a huge story that took over the media many years ago, but I think the Menendez brothers have been etched into infamy for a very long time. But I think this new show has brought apart like a new light on the trial because people are looking back at evidence. They're seeing maybe more from the victim side now because of the like sexual abuse allegations, and now whether it was self-defense versus, you know, just a horrific crime out of greed and passion. So it's interesting to see the narrative change after all these years, but not totally unsurprising.
Are you surprised or are you impacted with Kim Kardashian calling out for the release of Erik and Lyle Menendez?
I mean, she's very passionate about it right now, which, you know, I like that Kim is one of those people who fights for prison reform and all of this kind of stuff. But it is interesting that she hasn't been fighting for their release for all those years up until now. You know what I'm saying? Like the show comes out, it becomes super popular. Everyone's talking about him. And now she's taking a stand of like, let them out. I'm like, well, why weren't you saying let them out 5 years ago? Like they've been sitting in jail for a very long time. So that would be my only issue is if you're feeling so strong about this. And granted, let me phrase this by saying she just met, I think it was one of them recently. She did that like trip down to a prison near San Diego. And I believe she got to talk to one of them. And that is kind of what sparked it. But interesting with the timing of this show becoming super popular, and now she's talking about it as well.
It's definitely. Would you say that's a good PR move for her?
I mean, I think all of this prison reform is a good PR move for Kim Kardashian. I think that the reason that she even like went to take the bar exam and she is doing all of this is because Kim Kardashian needs a true legacy. Like that's what she wants to leave behind, right? Like she doesn't always want to be known as the sex tape girl or the famous for being famous or Kanye's ex-wife. Like she doesn't want to be known for that. She wants to be known for something good and positive. And I think all this prison reform stuff is that positive legacy that she wants to leave behind. It's like, look how much I helped out people that were truly in need. And I was there to get them out.
Yeah, I do think it's pretty impactful what she's doing. Her heart's in the right place. With that said, do you want to take on the Menendez brothers? With all the stories, all the cases out there, why the Menendez brothers over everything else? Yes, it was a very publicized story, but here, is this just kind of bringing light to prison reform? Or
I'm going to say it's easier to get attention on this case than the case that no one knows about, right? Like, at the end of the day, when you say Menendez brothers, everyone knows what you're talking about. So it's probably easier to get them to open the books, review the case, talk about the evidence. I mean, I think that mental illness or, other things are a lot more talked about these days. Sexual abuse is talked about a lot more these days. So I think she's using that to her advantage to go, look, there were things back when this, 1996 murder happened that no one was talking about. They didn't take into consideration. And we really should have at the time. Number one being this sexual abuse that they supposedly, were victims of. That should have been brought more into the trial. And so people could have said, yes, this was self-defense against someone who was a predator, that they were constantly being victimized. Like, they deserve to fight back. Yes, it was a gnarly murder, but let's throw that into the mix.
Yeah. All right. So Dax and I, thank you for Dax's hot take on the Menendez brothers and Kim Kardashian. Usually when we drop an episode in the middle of the week, usually we talk to a guest. Sometimes Dax and I just yent it to each other. And sometimes we just, talk to a celebrity, a publicist, a PR, a security. Who knows? But
a Hollywood fixer, a sex tape dealer. I mean, we've got all kinds of people.
And Dax and I haven't spoken, so we just want to catch up with each other. On Fridays, we release an episode called The Raw Rundown, where we give you the top 10 stories of the week. So you guys really love that. Before we kind of get further into today's episode, Dax, do you have a review ready for us?
Of course I have a review for us. All right, let's look at this one. If it ever pops up. No. Oh, here we go. Oh my God, this is a long one. All right, buckle up. It's a 5-star review from Brooke5112. It says, oh my God, the best show ever. This is the best show ever. I love the Raw Rundown and listen to it every Friday. It's definitely a highlight of my week. I recommend this show to everyone who loves pop culture. You guys are so nice and kind about the news and not negative at all, which I love. Great vibes only. Your industry experience makes your perspectives that much better, and I feel like I learned something new about the entertainment industry and how it all works in every show. Also, I love the banter between you both. It makes the show even more enjoyable. Also, I heard from a friend of a friend that the Leo headphones thing is absolutely true. I DM'd you guys on Insta the rest of the deets.
Great.
You are all awesome at keeping me informed and in the loop. Love the show and love you guys. Woo! Brooke, hell yeah. Thank you for, that took at least, 10 minutes to write, and I appreciate the 10 minutes that it took to write that.
I so appreciate that. Please keep the reviews coming. It really helps us out with the algorithm, helps us out, keep us up high in the charts, because you guys leaving reviews, downloading the episode, telling your friends about it, it helps us keep the lights on. Dax, it's like now the time of year we start to hibernate a little bit. So you want to, you're not really going out as much. You're not barbecuing. You're starting to go to the movies. Do you have any, are you looking to go see The Joker with all the negative reviews the movie's getting?
I was genuinely excited because I really enjoyed the first Joker movie. I thought it was great. I thought they did a really good job with it. And then someone, Naz Perez, who is a friend of mine on Instagram, she started writing about it and talking about how much she loved it because it's a true musical. And then you heard my brakes go, and I'm like, whoa, wait. This is a musical? Like, there is a lot of musical numbers. That's a hard thing for me to swallow. I don't like musicals. Like, I remember years ago, my wife and I, she's not a musical person either. We rented Sweeney Todd with Johnny Depp. And
okay. I saw that in theaters. I remember that Christmas it came out.
Yeah. So, and we rented it at that time. We didn't go see it in the movie theaters. And we popped it in because I think this is literally when we had like DVDs. We turned it on. And the first scene, Johnny Depp starts singing. And I was like, what the fuck? No one told me it was a musical. I need preparation. I need to mentally prepare myself that this is going to be a musical. I need to get into this because I don't like being surprised with a musical. Literally nothing worse than being surprised with a musical. And so I think I've watched the first 54 seconds of Sweeney Todd. Then I turned it off and I immediately got it out of my DVD player. I was like, nope, not watching this thing. And so I'm glad that she posted that The Joker is a musical. I, in turn, may not go see it now.
Yeah, no, the movie was number one in the box office this past weekend. It made $40 million, which isn't bad. I mean, it's not a monster success, but I don't know what the budget was on this film. I gotta assume it's gonna make its money back. But yeah, it did decent, had a pretty good box office weekend. Everyone who told me they saw it did not like this movie. Now, again, I didn't see the movie. I'll be totally honest with you, but and I'll say this to your point, Dex. I like watching musicals in theaters, but they have to be certain ones. Like Sweeney Todd, I enjoyed watching that in a theater. The
Mhm.
Greatest Showman, I loved watching that in
Oh,
a
and
theater.
let me say this. There are movies that are exceptions, right? Like what helps is when the songs become really famous, like The Greatest Showman. We just watched that one like 2 months ago. I was like, finally, I should watch this one. The songs are so big. We finally watched it. It was a great movie. Would I have liked it as much before the songs got popular? Probably not. Disney movies, they all get an exception. Love Disney musicals. It just gets really tough for me outside of there.
I'll say this: I think one of the best movies in the last 10 years is La La Land. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's one of the best.
I will believe you. I did not see it. It was a musical.
It was, but you had to see it in theaters. I thought it was a great movie, shot well. The music was great, but watching that movie in theaters, I thought is a beautiful movie. You love Beetlejuice, though.
I did not love Beetlejuice.
I
I didn't.
I knew you would not like that going into it. I don't see you as a Beetlejuice guy. What were your thoughts
No,
on
no.
Beetlejuice overall?
I loved the first one. Huge Beetlejuice fan. Like the first one, loved it, loved it, loved it. Many years ago, we actually just had our children watch it the other day, and it's funny the difference in ratings between back then and now. You know, something that's like PG 13. All of a sudden, they start saying all these cuss words because the rating system was different back in like the 80s, early 90s, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was truly excited to take my kids to watch this movie. Can I tell you the most fascinating thing about the Beetlejuice movie that really had nothing to do, or at least wasn't publicized very much? So Beetlejuice starts up, the credits start rolling, and Cup comes. This is produced by Plan B Entertainment. You know who owns Plan B, right?
No.
Brad Pitt.
Oh.
So
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, maybe. I was like, oh, I didn't know Brad Pitt was behind the Beetlejuice movie. And then a couple minutes later, or a couple seconds later, it's like Brad Pitt's name comes up as an executive producer. I'm like, oh, okay, really interesting. Here's where it gets crazy. Do you know who stars in Beetlejuice?
Michael Keaton,
Michael
Jenna
Keaton. Who
Ortega,
else?
Jenna
Okay.
Ortega,
Who else? Keep thinking. Come on.
Winona Ryder,
Winona Ryder, Monica Bellucci. You're missing one huge name.
Craig Pitt, Brad's cousin.
Justin Theroux.
Oh, you're right.
So it goes
I didn't put that two and two together. Interesting.
exactly. So it goes Brad Pitt's name, and then a couple seconds later, Justin Theroux, and I'm like, what? Like Brad Pitt. Think about this. Brad Pitt is Justin Theroux's boss on this new Beetlejuice movie. How was this not a more publicized thing? I thought for like, if you've got two ex-husbands of Jennifer Aniston working together, like Brad Pitt literally had to have hired Justin Theroux or signed off on that casting for him to get the job. And so I was like, whoa. So I went to go Google, you know, are there photos of them? Did they hang out at the party together, the premiere part? Like, and I don't see anything. There were a couple stories that popped up about, and listen, I don't know if they're true. I was Googling, and it said that Jennifer Aniston wasn't happy that her ex-husband, Justin Theroux, was still using her connections in Hollywood to get jobs. Granted, I don't know if this is just some BS thing, but it had mentioned that he was basically using her name and getting in good with Brad Pitt. I don't know. I know that Brad and Jennifer Aniston have a very good relationship at this point. Like, they've mended their old ways. We've seen them at birthday parties together. So I don't think there's any beef between them. I just thought it was really interesting that he had hired his ex-wife's ex.
Yeah. Well, Dax, something you should know. Your boy, your co-host on your podcast,
Mhm.
is now an actor. I Just was in a movie myself.
Really?
I was just I play the role of golf spectator 237 as an extra in Happy Gilmore 2.
Shut up.
Yeah,
they
dude.
they let you on the set of Happy Gilmore?
If they Googled me, they probably wouldn't have. But I was on the set of Happy Gilmore. I played an extra. I played an extra.
Okay,
It's so
wait.
stupid.
Where
Um,
let's start over. How did you find out about this? Did you have to audition? Like what
as an extra,
walk me
no.
through.
Anybody, they'll pick up anybody off the bus and put them
Okay,
on.
how did you find out about it?
So
Is
they
there like
had this
an
huge
ad?
casting. They had this huge casting call in New Jersey, and they're looking for people to be part of Happy Gilmore as extras. And first I thought this would be pretty cool. I was like, you know what? I'll be an extra for a day to do Happy Gilmore, an Adam Sandler movie, a huge movie. I'll do it. But then the casting call when they did the casting call, which they never do casting call for extras,
Yeah.
but the casting call drew in, I think, thousands of people. People waited in line for like 7 and 9 hours, 10 hours to just for 2 seconds to get their photo taken to be an extra. I was like, I'm not going to do that. But then a buddy of mine who went to the casting call said, hey, man, he's like, I can't believe I waited in line all day. All you do is go to this website, upload a photo, fill in some information, and then they'll you just put in your availability and they let you know. I was like, okay. So last week, I went to the website weeks back and I put my information. I got an email from them. Hey, are you available to be a extra as a golf spectator on this day? I'm like, actually, I had nothing going on. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. They're like, okay, we'll let you know the time and the place after 8 p.m. I'm like, okay. So I'm waiting by like 8 p.m. At 9 p.m., I get the email. Hey, be at this location and you have to be there at 5:45 in the morning. I'm like, oh
Whoa.
God. I'm like, that's tough. Come on, man. So of course I need the money. And I was like, all right, because they only pay like 100. I think it's if you're non-SAG, you get like $173. If you are SAG, you get like 215. So I go there, I show up, it's like pitch black because it's I'm filming at a golf course. And I show up there at 5:45. I like had to you can't see anything because the parking's so dark. You're in like the woods of like a golf course, the park, and there's other people like dressed in golf clothes. It's freezing out, and they told me to wear like golf clothes. So I wore like golf pants and a golf polo shirt, and I wanted like a bright shirt so I stick out. And I show up, and there's like other people wearing the same thing, like people wearing all decked out. They all look like they would be in an Adam Sandler movie. These are all the extras. So I park. They put us on a shuttle, and they bring us to like where you're gonna go. And there was like 400 extras. I'm like, oh man, are you kidding me? I thought there's gonna be like 30 of us for some reason. I thought and I wanted to do it because I was like, maybe I will get in the scene. But if there's 400 people, you don't even need me. Whatever. So I go, I register. They give you a number. You go in as this number. I register, and then they go, all right. Then you have to get approved by wardrobe. And you go to wardrobe and they look at your outfit and they say either it's great or you should probably take this or that. Like they give you, we don't like that outfit, put on a yellow polo, or
So
hey,
did you
wear
have to
this funny
change your
hat.
bright shirt?
So I went up to them and the guy in front of me was like really dressed up. He was like in a really nice polo shirt, pants tucked in. And he said he was a golf pro. And they're like, oh, okay, we're in the golf pros. Okay, you're going to go to hair and makeup. And I looked at hair and makeup was like on the side of the tent. And they were giving people makeup and they were cutting their hair.
Yeah.
So like they're cleaning up, not like a haircut, but they clean up their neck.
Yeah.
Clean the edges. So I was like, man, I want to get a haircut because I could use a haircut. So when I went up, I was like, yeah, I'm a golf pro. And she's like, okay. Okay. Yeah, your outfit looks good. Go over there and get your haircut. I was like, thank you. So I just said I was a golf pro so I could get a free haircut, right? This is how much of a mooch I am. So I go, I get they put a little makeup on me. I didn't want the makeup, but I did want them to clean up my neck for the free haircut. And then they're like, go to the breakfast. There's like 8, again, there's 400 people like going at the buffet line going nuts.
Wait, you said there's SAG though. Do they separate people for SAG breakfasts and lunches? Because I know that SAG has some very specific rules. I had my SAG card for a long time. And so like they'll literally have a nicer buffet for people that are SAG and like a whatever buffet for people that aren't. Did they have that there?
So SAG got to go in the golf club's clubhouse. If you weren't SAG, they had a huge tent for you, but I didn't know really the feel of it yet. So the first scene, you go up there, and I'm like, they put you in the crowd, and you got like, you really want to get in a good position. Like it's kind of like a rat race. You want to get lucky that you're in a good spot that you're going to get in the movie. I sat in the second row, right next to this guy's wearing a mask. I didn't like my position, and then they tried making you move because they look at the extras and they're like, okay, we don't like those two colors next to each other. Why don't you go there? You go there, and they tried mixing you, and I'm like, screw them. I'm not leaving. So they come up to me like, hey, sir, we're going to move you back over. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And I just don't move. Hey, sir, we're going to move you over there. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm not moving. I'm like trying to, I want to be as low as possible. And then, we're all standing over like Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler comes out. People are like, it's the first time they see Adam Sandler. And it's a real movie. It's weird because it's a real movie set. And most people are pretty professional, but some people I'm like Adam, I'm like, dude, shut up. Like you're like,
well, because the first time you saw him wasn't like when they were rolling, right? Like he came out before they started rolling.
Check out the scene, check out what's going on.
So did everyone start like going crazy?
No,
like, right when he walks out.
Calm. Most people stayed calm, but some people like, hey, Adam, like they're trying to go easy. I'm like, guys, like it's a movie. Like we're not here as fans. Like like there's got to be some sort of professionalism, even though like they found anybody on the street to do it. And he came out. He did his one golf swing, the Happy Gilmore swing. And
how did he do?
He doesn't really hit the ball. He runs up, he does it once, or he did it maybe like 3 times, and then like all of a sudden.
Wait, sorry. Is he doing it and they're gonna like CGI in the ball?
Yes. Yeah. They CGI.
So he doesn't actually.
And I don't want to tell you like what the scene does exactly, but like he does the golf swing, and we have to like see it like cheer because he hits the ball, like yay, happy, and get all excited. He does a scene like a few times, and then they bring in a body double, and he does the swing a few times. So that was it.
The Happy Gilmore swing.
Yeah,
does he actually hit the ball?
No, nobody hits the ball. He just like Adam does like the move, like he hits the ball, but he doesn't really hit the ball. But then everyone else has to like they're getting close-ups of the crowd, like woo, going crazy, and you hope you're in the scene. I probably won't make the cut. I'm probably the only person who's going to see myself. You won't see my face. And then the next scene was like they're shooting down on the course. And again, like everyone's trying to fight to put themselves in a good position. Like some old woman like threw herself in front of me so she could get a better spot. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'm here. Like people are like fighting with each other because everyone wants to get as close as possible to like where the camera's going to be. And I mean, it's a long day. The thing is, it's such a long day. They said we're only supposed to be there for 10 hours, but it wound up being like 14 hours. And I was like, after 10 hours, it's like, guys, you told me 10 hours. And they're like,
wait.
Yeah, we did.
How they did that one scene. So what else did you need to be there for?
They did a bunch of scenes that day. They're trying to take advantage of as much sun as possible on the golf course. They're only shooting at that golf course for the day. But as an extra, if you're like, hey, I don't want to do this scene right now, I want to get some food, you go just walk off and they have like snacks for you. And I was like, sometimes I was like, yeah, I'm going to go get food. And I was just getting food, getting snacks, like whatever. Like I was just eating, putting snacks in my pocket. I was like, yo, those are Skittles in the bed. I'm taking some Skittles home. So I did that. And then all of a sudden they break for lunch, and lunch, they made everyone go to the tent, but they're like, if you're SAG, go in there. But I was like, I'm SAG. So I went in the clubhouse, and no one checked to see if I had a card. No one asked. I just said I was SAG, and I had the really good lunch. I mean, they're cutting like steak and chicken and pastas, and I sat inside with like the crew, and no one asked. I just sat by myself, had like a feast like to myself. And I was like, people even like came up to me. Like I ran into a guy who was working on set. He's like, you're SAG? I was like, no, I just walked in. They're like, yeah, whatever. Like it's so unorganized. And I stayed there for like a few hours, and then I tried like sneaking off and leaving. But they kind of said, oh, are you leaving? I was like, yeah, I forgot my medicine in my car. And they're like, okay, well, you could, we're not going to sign you out then. I was like, I was trying to leave early, but they wouldn't they were like, no, we're paying you for the day. And eventually after 10 hours, they were still filming. I was like, you guys told me only 10 hours, and now it's like going on to hour 11. They're like, okay, you signed me out. So then I got to leave. They're going to hopefully pay me. And I mean, will I make the cut? Probably not, but it's fun to say I did an Adam Sandler movie, I guess.
100%. That's such listen, at the end of the day, what a good little memory you have. You got to see Adam Sandler. You got some free Skittles. You got a free haircut. You got to be a SAG actor. You got to be a professional golf player. I mean, you got a lot of stuff in one day.
Yeah, no, it was definitely fun. It was definitely like one of those days I'm trying to get like my dad to do it. I think he would get a kick out of it for a day. I think he would have, it's fun. But dude, know what else I did?
Wait. I want to know when are they going to be releasing that movie? Like, is this a 2025 thing
Yeah,
or further on?
2025. I think spring, summer 2025 on Netflix.
I'm excited. I hope you make the movie because right now I'm 0 for 2 movies. Both of my scenes have hit the cutting room floor in both movies. So I was supposed to be in the Veronica Mars movie, which I like literally filmed scenes for at TMZ. They gave us a script, filmed the whole thing. My part did not make the movie.
That sucks.
The Entourage movie, filmed, had the script, filmed, hit the cutting room floor. So I am 0 for 2. I hope you get to be in one.
You know what's great about the Veronica Mars movie in TMZ? Kristen Bell hates TMZ but yet again, they filmed with TMZ for the movie.
Yeah.
Kind of weird how that works, right?
Yeah.
You know what happened last week, dude? So I saw that Tom Sandoval was in New York. He was doing a concert. And I had this opportunity for him if he wanted to show up to this thing and get a few bucks. And he's like, hey man, I can't make it. And I never even texted him ever. It's the first time I ever used his number. I just had his number. But he goes, hey man, if you want, you could be my guest at the Tonight Show. I was like, yeah, man, I would love that. Hoping that he wouldn't like follow up on me and like it would just be like radio silent. And then I was like, I don't need to go to this show if you want. But he was very nice and followed up with me hours later. He was like, hey, do you still really want to come to the show? I was like, all right, I guess I'll go to the show. Now, I will tell you, Dax, I understand how people could hate Tom Sandoval. He's a character. He's a villain on Vanderpump Rules, I guess, if you want to say that. And I know people want to crack on his music and his band, but they put on a good show.
It was entertaining.
It was so entertaining. They're so fun. It's good energy. The musicians in the band he has are really good. I mean, he's very like, you want to watch him. He's very like Freddie Mercury-like. And I mean, that's a big compliment, but he gets really into it and he makes it fun. He makes it a good experience. I mean, of course, the audience is a lot of Vanderpump Rules fans, so it's cool. They're just excited to see Tom and see him at like a close setting.
You said he does all covers, or does he does all any? There's no original music. All covers.
At the time I was there, I didn't see any original music. It's all covers, but it's like fun covers. Like it's like from like. It's like music, 80s music to, Queen to Jackson 5. Like, it's just like fun music, but the band is really good. He sounds good. He gets really into it. He goes into the crowd and like gives people that Instagram moment where like he'll sing on the mic in the crowd and people he'll like sing with people in the crowd. And that's a little thing that makes a big difference and makes people say they had a good experience. Like if you're a Vanderpump Rules fan, go see Tom Sandoval perform because it's kind of cool. He does it very nice. It's not he doesn't treat himself like a rock star. I was very surprised how good of a show it was.
So you're giving a stamp of approval on the Tom Sandoval experience.
I think I understand why people dislike him based on his actions and what he did prior. However, I would still recommend you go see the show because he is very unique to watch and just look at it in person. And then when you see him perform and he gets into it, they were great. They're almost, I hate to, and this is not a negative thing. I almost want to say like they're a really good wedding band because they do covers. However, they get really into it too, which makes a big difference.
Did you talk to him afterwards or anything?
I didn't. I actually quietly bounced, but I hit him up the next day and he responded to me. I sent him a nice text message like, dude, I was really impressed on how you perform, like how great everything was. I thought they do a good show. They're very well rehearsed. They play really fun music. You would like it. You'd get a kick out of it. Yeah, 100%.
So you mentioned Kristen Bell. Have you seen her new Netflix show?
No, but the one with Adam Brody.
Yeah, dude.
People love it. I heard it's great.
It's really good. It's called No One Wants This. Someone had recommended it to me, and I actually really, really are enjoying it. It's like a great show for like me and my wife to watch. But being Jewish, it makes it even like that much more like funny and exciting because there's so many references to Judaism because the main character, he's a rabbi. Adam Brody's a rabbi in it. But it is a great, great show. I highly recommend it for people. I can see why it's become so popular. But did you know, so Erin Foster, David Foster's daughter, do you know she's the creator of that show?
I did not know that.
And it's based on her and her husband's relationship. I didn't know that until I started to kind of like.
A rabbi?
he's not a rabbi, he's in the music industry, but it was about their relationship because he is Jewish. And he basically said, look, I can't marry someone who's not Jewish. Erin actually went through the conversion. She did the whole thing where it was like 8 months of studying, and then you go through a whole process. And so she based this show on her relationship with him, and it's really blowing up. And I think it's like Kristen Bell and Adam's chemistry that really has people liking the show. I think I'm on like episode 8 right now. But what's great about it, they're like 28 minute episodes. So when you sit down, you can watch, 2 episodes or 3 episodes. You feel like you're making progress. I feel like every show these days, it's, when it's a series, it's like an hour long. And so it takes a long time to get through, at least for me at night. And so these ones, I'm like, we're like whipping them out, and it goes by really fast. Fantastic.
Yeah, I heard it's a good show. The people love it. Good on them. I think they have good chemistry, the two of them together, like working chemistry. So yeah.
I really like it. I would highly recommend anyone go and watch it. You're going to like it. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It makes you laugh. I think Kristen Bell plays her character really well. Her sister is very funny in the show. I don't know. She's like a podcaster. So like, there's just a lot of things that I truly enjoy about the show, because I'm like, oh, they have a podcast. I can relate to some of the things that they're talking about there. And then, oh, the Jewish aspect. Oh, I can relate to that. I don't know. It's just fun. It's been a good watch.
I'm going to check that out. Dax, I think people listen to today's episode. I feel like they're just a fly on the wall and just listen to us to catch up with each other. So I hope you guys like that. Follow us on our private Facebook group, Off the Record. I think you guys should be in that because it's a fun community. You guys can talk to us. We can talk to you. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best thing you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.